Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
We got the Cherry Pig Capital team here checking out our property. And I'm Adam here. This is
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. And we're in Omaha, west side of Omaha, single family house. Gonna chat through property that we renovated and just about to get it leased up, going through kind of final walkthroughs, check on the work done by contractors.
This is a pretty typical process for us, is what we call a pre-leasing checklist, where after the crew gets done on the inside and finishes a scope of work, we'll have somebody come in afterwards and go through a little checklist just to make sure various things in the scope of work were done, and then also certain things are done prior to tenant moving in, like filters are changed. And again, it's an entire checklist that we'll go through. So we'll walk through and show you guys some of what we look for before we get this guy rented out to new tenants. Yeah, so like we mentioned outside, we go through and do a little pre-lease checklist just to make sure that when a tenant moves in, that they have a good experience moving in. One thing you got to realize, it took me a while to realize it, but now I think about it as common sense, is the tenant is your customer. When they move in, if things are broken, not working, that's a terrible first impression for them and doesn't start things off the way that they should be started off. So after you took a lot of time and money and effort into these properties, to one, find them, two, rehab them, and then three, get them leased up, it's a huge bummer when a tenant moves in and their water doesn't work, or the hot water doesn't work, or things like that. So we try to go through beforehand on each one, just to go through all the little details and make sure that, again, when somebody moves in, smooth, easy transition. And then, so for this one, we did the walkthrough already. Some minor things, like for example, there's a couple switches down here by the door that just don't go anywhere. Oftentimes we're replacing outlets and switches and covers and stuff like that because the old ones are old, dingy, beat up, broken. So we'll go in, and especially when you're painting, if you paint an entire house on the inside and you have these old light switches that are beige color or mismatching outlets or things like that, it makes the paint kind of look like crap. So we'll spend the extra money and we'll change out all the outlets and switches and whatnot to make them work. So sometimes it can be common on like three-way light switches to where they may not get wired the right way when they're being replaced. So that's one of the cases here. When somebody walks in, one of the first things we look for too is when you walk in the front door, there needs to be some sort of light switch next to that door that they can turn on to light up the house. So luckily this one has a light right above the door. But again, the switch doesn't work for it. If there wasn't a light above the door in a house like this, we would definitely run wiring and install a new light. So again, when a tenant walks in, they're not walking into darkness, or they're not having to walk across the living room to turn on a light. And for whatever reason in older houses, that was a case where they just didn't have lighting in the main room for whatever reason, and you'd have to walk over to a lamp and turn on the lamp in order for you to have light in the house. So yeah, that was the first thing we noticed in this guy. Other than that, this house was fairly decent. We'll do just a quick little walkthrough to kind of point out some of the things that we saw. So if you want to follow us, we'll go through some of these rooms quick. Can't really fit in the bathroom, but you can get the video of it. So for the bathroom, what we look for is we only want one light switch in the bathroom, and we want that one light switch to control the lights and the fart fan, or bathroom fan, whatever you want to call this. Reason being is that when somebody's taking a shower, the steam and the moisture buildup can cause a lot of damage to bathrooms. So we don't want to give them a choice of being able to turn on the fan separate from the light. So we know that anytime somebody's in the bathroom, that fan's always going to be on. And we tend to put in some pretty strong fart fans that tend to move a lot of moisture out of bathrooms. We will go to these bedrooms. These bedrooms are pretty straightforward. This one, again, just something little. There's no closet doors on this guy. But that's another thing we look for too, is make sure each closet has shelving and rods in there for people to be able to hang up clothes and put clothes and whatnot. This bathroom right here, great example. Light switch doesn't work, so lights don't go on, the fart fan doesn't go on. So again, a new tenant moving in, they want to use this bathroom in the basement, and at this point they really can't because there's no light in there. So they come in, they move in, they get all their stuff in after a long day of moving all their stuff and want to maybe take a shower and just can't. So again, that moving experience in our eyes is a big deal on how the relationship starts off with the tenant, making sure you want to start off on the right foot. I guess one last thing we do is we also test all the drains out, showers, bath sinks, kitchen sinks, everything, just to make sure everything drains properly. Oftentimes we have some of our own plumbing equipment, so we'll snake the drains. We do what's called a clogged hog, where you take a pressurized nozzle, you hook it up to a power washer, and you put that through all the main drains to help clear out any old debris, buildup, things like that have occurred in the drains over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it is. So again, that way when a tenant moves in, they're not having any issues with backups or anything like that. So yeah, again, that's about it with this property. This one was a pretty straightforward one, about really half the budget, at least, compared to what our normal rehabs are on our rental. So this one was a nice little cakewalk for our guys.
Awesome.
Go. Any more hot questions coming from you, bud?
No additional hot questions. You did really great today.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good work out there.
Thanks.